Hello, mathematicians. This is Mr. Malhot. Let's do some math. Today is you should be on page 8, and that means I want you to watch this video to do some summary notes. So get out your notebook, pause this video if you don't have it out. Get your notebooks. You got them? Pause it if you haven't. You got them? Okay, let's do it. The next blank page in your notebook, put the title Inequalities. Big across the top, Inequalities. And remember, you guys, you can pause this video at any time, rewind a few seconds or a few minutes, or rewatch, do what you need to do, okay? First thing I want you to do in your notes, y'all look up at the front of the room, kind of by the lamp, above the table in the front. We have that poster that says Inequalities across the top, and it has open circle, closed circle, and there's a page hanging off on the bottom that says when to flip the sign. I would like you to copy everything on that poster onto your first page of notes. Copy the poster here. Copy that poster here. So you should have something. I'm not going to copy it down, but you should have something that's like this with open circles and things like this. That looks something like that, okay? I'm going to pause this video. You pause it. Copy that poster into your notebook. Should take you, I'd say, less than 5 minutes. Go. Okay. Hello again, mathematicians. This is Mr. Malha. Let's keep doing some math. You should have that poster copied into your notes now. And in your packet, go to page 9. We're going to use our notes. This is going to be a quick review. And then we're going to get into some two-step inequalities. You could almost probably guess what you should put here on this page. Here's the rules for graphing inequalities. Use an open circle for less than or greater than signs, and use a closed circle for less than or equal to or greater than or equal to signs. Remember, open circle just means a circle. Closed circle means filled in, or dot. Okay? You guys should be able to do numbers 1 through 8 as a review really easy. So again, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to have the answer key show up here in a few seconds. If you haven't paused the video and do it, you need to check your own understanding. Treat this as if it was a quiz. Could you do it on your own? Pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Did you pause it? I know some of you didn't pause it. Pause it. You got it paused? Okay. All right, welcome back, mathematicians. Check your work. Did you get 8 out of 8? If not, make corrections. You guys got this by now. Let's do some problems now. Scrolling down, here we go. So rules for solving inequalities. This should be in your notes too. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign. Flip it, not upside down, flip it around. Remember, it goes back to that thing we did last Friday with that number brain teaser. You got to flip it around. Now, here's some problems that you need to know how to do. They look very similar to those two-step equations we've been doing, and you do the same steps except for if you have a negative number being multiplying or dividing on both sides. Okay? So we're going to do number 9 and 10 on the front and number 17 through 20 on the back. The rest are up to you to do. Here we go. I like to bar off the inequalities because in case you have to flip them, you don't have to worry about having a line going through them, okay? You solve them the same way as with inequality or with equations. This one we're going to minus 2 on both sides first. Cancel out the 2's. Bring down the 3. Oh, let's use red. Bring down the 3x. Negative 4 take away 2 is negative 6. Did we divide or multiply by a negative number yet? No. So keep the sign the same. That's step 1. Last step, divide by 3 on both sides. That means you're going to cancel out the 3 that was being multiplied by the x, and you're left with x on this side, negative 2 on this side. Should we flip? I mean, that's a negative 2, Did we divide by a negative? No. Or though. I gave it away. Did we divide by a negative? No. So keep the sign the same. There's your answer. Put it on a graph. Here's negative 2 right in the middle. That means this would be like negative 1 and 0, and negative 3 and negative 4. Open circle, and x has to be less than negative 2. Number 10. Remember, you can pause at any time. Number 10. Subtract 2 on both sides. Same step. Interesting. Cancel out. 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down not just the x, bring down the x over 6. Should the sign flip? Are we dividing by a negative or multiplying by a negative? No, so it doesn't flip, stays the same. Negative 1 take away 2 is negative 3. You guys, make sure your math looks nice. You see how these bars, we'll go back to number 9. See how this like makes things look nice and lined up, and your math goes in a line like this. Things are nice and lined up. It helps make things look nice and easy to follow, okay? Let's go back to number 10. Times by 6 on both sides because it's being divided by 6. The 6's cancel, and you're left with x on this side, negative 18 on this side. Should it flip? Did we divide or multiply by negative? No, so it stays the same. That's your answer. Let's put it on our number line here. So put negative 18 in the middle. Open or closed? Circle, open. And we need numbers greater than negative 18. Like way up here would be 0 somewhere, but this would be like negative 17, negative 16. Cool. Okay. Flip the page. Go to the bottom of the next page. I just picked the last 4 because they were kind of tricky and I want to go through them with you. The rest of them you will have to do, okay? I'm going to start off the same way, barring off the inequality signs, just in case they do need to flip, which I think some of these will. We will have the space to rewrite it. All right, here we go. All right, number 17, add 1 on both sides because it has a minus 1. Bring down the negative 5/6 x, and 14 plus 1 is 15. Did we need to flip? Nope, keep it the same. Remember, with problems with fractions, to get rid of fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by negative 6/5 on both sides. Now, we've talked before, this is just 1. So that's just x. Let's do the math on the other side before we talk about the inequality symbol in the middle. Remember, we put these over 1, multiply straight across. And this, let's see, 15 times 6. Well, let's see, I do 6 times 10 is 60. And 5 times 6 is 30. And 60 plus 30 gives you 90. But because of this negative sign, it's negative 90 over 5. And negative 90 divided by 5 is 18. So that means your result here is 18. Now, do we need to flip? Did we divide or multiply by a negative number?